Defense, the quiet art, the unseen force that wins championships without flash or noise. Tonight, we honor the guardians, those who mastered the calm discipline of stopping greatness. Rest easy as their stories unfold. In the quiet neighborhoods of Monroe, Louisiana, a boy was born in 1934 who would change basketball forever. Bill Russell arrived in a world that didn't yet understand what defense could be. His family moved west to Oakland, California, searching for opportunity, searching for something better. Young Bill found basketball late, awkward at first, learning the game at McClymonds High School, where the fundamentals came slowly but deliberately. At the University of San Francisco, something shifted. Russell discovered his purpose. He didn't score the most points. He didn't seek the spotlight. Instead, he learned to read the game differently, to see plays before they happened, to understand that stopping an opponent was just as valuable as scoring yourself. The Dons won 56 consecutive games, back-to-back NCAA championships in 1955 and 56. Russell anchored a defense that suffocated opponents with intelligence and timing. The Boston Celtics saw something special. In 1956, the St. Louis Hawks selected Russell second overall in the draft, but Red Auerbach orchestrated a trade that would reshape the league for over a decade. Russell arrived in Boston as a rookie, 6 feet 10 inches tall with a wingspan that measured 7 feet 4 inches. He moved differently than other big men, fluid, graceful, always thinking. Traditional centers planted themselves near the basket and swatted shots into the crowd. Russell revolutionized the blocked shot. He didn't just reject attempts, he redirected them. He studied shooters, learned their tendencies, positioned himself perfectly. When the ball left their hands, Russell timed his leap with mathematical precision, guiding the ball toward a teammate to start a fast break. Defense became offense. Stops became opportunities. The championships came like gentle waves. 11 titles in 13 seasons. Some observers say no athlete in team sports ever dominated their era quite like Russell. In 1957, his rookie season, Boston won the championship. They won again in 58, then 59. A brief pause, then 5 straight from 1959 to 66. Russell's final 2 years as player-coach brought 2 more. 13 seasons, 11 rings. The numbers tell part of the story. Russell averaged 22.5 rebounds per game across his career. In an era before blocked shots became an official statistic, researchers estimate he averaged over 8 blocks per game. He led the league in defensive win shares 11 times in 13 years. 5-time most valuable player, 12-time All-Star. But statistics only whisper what Russell meant to winning. Boston's defense ranked first in the league 12 times during Russell's tenure. He orchestrated it all from the middle, communicating constantly,
directing teammates, ensuring everyone understood their assignment. Opponents scored fewer points. They shot worse percentages. They grew frustrated trying to solve a puzzle that had no solution.
In winner-take-all games, Game 7s, decisive playoff contests where everything mattered most, Russell's Celtics went 21-0. Perfect. In the moments when pressure mounted and lesser players faltered, Russell became more focused, more determined, more present. He understood that defense required calmness, required trust, required believing that discipline would prevail over panic. The 1962 Eastern Conference Finals stretched to 7 games against Philadelphia. Wilt Chamberlain, the most dominant offensive force in basketball, faced Russell in an epic battle. In Game 7, Russell grabbed 40 rebounds. 40! He blocked countless shots, altered dozens more, and Boston advanced. This pattern repeated year after year. Chamberlain scored more points. Russell won more championships. In 1966, Red Auerbach retired as head coach. He named Bill Russell as his successor, making Russell the first black head coach in NBA history. Russell continued playing while coaching, a dual role that would have overwhelmed most. Instead, he thrived. The Celtics won championships in Russell's second and third seasons as coach. He demanded excellence from himself and his teammates, preaching defense as the foundation of everything. Russell's final season came in 1968-69. Boston finished 4th in the Eastern Division, with a 48-34 record. Injuries had mounted, the roster had aged. Few expected much in the playoffs. Russell, at 35 years old, knew that this would be his last chance. The Celtics defeated Philadelphia in the first round, then upset the top-seeded New York Knicks in 6 games to reach the finals. The Los Angeles Lakers waited, powered by Jerry West, Elgin Baylor, and Wilt Chamberlain, who had been traded west. The series went 7 games, each one tense and physical. In Game 7 at the Los Angeles Forum, Boston played perhaps their most complete defensive game of the season. Russell, battling knee pain and exhaustion, grabbed 21 rebounds and anchored a defense that held the Lakers to 93 points. Boston won 108-106. Russell's final game ended with his 11th championship. He walked away from basketball quietly, without announcement or ceremony. He had proven his point. Defense wins championships. Team success matters more than individual glory. Discipline and intelligence triumph over raw talent alone. Russell changed how people understood the game, showing that the greatest impact often comes without the ball, without the spotlight, without the noise. Years later, the NBA Finals MVP trophy was renamed in his honor. Players still study his footwork, his timing, his positioning. Coaches teach his principles of help defense and communication. The number 6 hangs retired in every NBA arena, a league-wide honor given to only one player. Bill Russell's legacy isn't measured in points or highlights.
It lives in the understanding that basketball is played at both ends of the court, and the end without glory often matters most.
Lagos, Nigeria, in the early 1960s, was a city of possibility. On January 21, 1963, Hakeem Olajuwon was born into a middle-class family. His father worked as a cement businessman. His mother raised 5 children with quiet strength. Young Hakeem played soccer and team handball, showing natural athleticism but no particular interest in basketball. Nigeria didn't have a basketball culture. The sport barely existed there. As a goalkeeper in soccer, Hakeem developed extraordinary footwork and timing. He learned to read shooters, to anticipate angles, to position his body perfectly to stop shots. These skills, learned on dusty African soccer fields, would later revolutionize basketball in a ways no one could have imagined. At 15, Hakeem stood 6 feet 9 inches tall. Friends suggested he try basketball. He picked up the game awkwardly, learning fundamentals that American players absorbed as children. In 1980, at 17 years old, he moved to Houston, Texas, to attend the University of Houston. The transition shocked him. Different culture, different language, different sport. He spoke little English. He knew almost nothing about basketball strategy or history. Coach Guy Lewis saw potential beneath the rough exterior. Hakeem, who went by Akeem during his early career, joined a team that would become known as Phi Slamma Jamma for their high-flying dunking style. He started slowly, learning the game through repetition and study. His soccer goalkeeper instincts translated beautifully to shot blocking. He timed his jumps perfectly, used his feet to stay balanced, and possessed an uncanny ability to predict where shooters would release the ball. By his sophomore year, Hakeem had become dominant. Houston reached the 1982 Final Four. The next season, they returned to the championship game, facing North Carolina State in 1983. Houston was heavily favored. The game went poorly. NC State's upset victory haunted Hakeem. He had been blocked by Lorenzo Charles on a crucial possession. He had missed opportunities. The loss burned deeply, teaching him that talent alone wasn't enough. The following year, Houston returned to the Final Four, reaching the championship game again in 1984 against Georgetown and Patrick Ewing. Another close loss. Hakeem had dominated college basketball for 3 years, but left without a national title. The disappointment shaped him. He understood that winning required more than individual brilliance. It required sacrifice, teamwork, and mental toughness. The 1984 NBA Draft featured the deepest talent pool in league history. Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, and John Stockton all entered the league that year. The Houston Rockets held the first overall pick. They chose Hakeem Olajuwon. Some questioned the decision. Jordan seemed like the safer choice, but Houston needed a center, and Hakeem possessed physical tools unlike anyone else. His NBA career started with immediate impact. Hakeem averaged 20.6 points, 11.9 rebounds, and 2.7 blocks as a rookie. He made the All-Star team. He won Rookie of the Year consideration. But Houston struggled in the playoffs, losing in the first round. Hakeem wanted championships, not individual honors. The college losses still stung. Over the next 8 seasons, Hakeem established himself as perhaps the most complete two-way player in basketball. On offense, he developed the Dream Shake, a series of moves combining head fakes, shoulder shimmies, pivot spins, and up and under sequences that left defenders helpless. His soccer footwork gave him balance and agility no center had shown before. He could face the basket, dribble, shoot from outside, or post up, unstoppable. But defense remained his passion. Hakeem studied opponents obsessively. He watched film for hours, learning tendencies, identifying patterns. Centers thought they could power through him. Guards thought they could blow past him. Both were wrong. Hakeem moved his feet like a guard, blocked shots like a traditional center, and possessed the basketball IQ to anticipate plays before they developed. In the 1988-89 season, Hakeem became the first player in NBA history to record 200 blocks and 200 steals in the same year. The combination of shot blocking and perimeter defense had never existed before. He could protect the rim, then switch on to guards in pick-and-roll situations. He could defend all 5 positions. Opponents had no answer. The 1992 Olympics arrived. The Dream Team, featuring Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and other legends, needed a practice squad to scrimmage against. Hakeem joined the select team. In practice sessions, he dominated. He blocked shots, scored at will, and showed the world's best players that he belonged among them. Many observers believe Hakeem outplayed the Dream Team's centers during those scrimmages. In 1993, Hakeem won his first Defensive Player of the Year award. He averaged 4.2 blocks per game, leading the league. He also averaged 13.0 rebounds and 1.8 steals. His defensive rating of 101 was among the league's best. Houston made the Western Conference Finals, but lost to Seattle. Hakeem felt the championship window closing. He was 30 years old. Time was running out. The 1993-94 season changed everything. Houston hired Rudy Tomjanovich as head coach. The team added veterans who understood winning. Hakeem entered the season with renewed focus. He averaged 27.3 points, 11.9 rebounds, 3.7 blocks, and 1.6 steals per game. He won the League MVP award. He won Defensive Player of the Year for the second consecutive season. He became the first player in history to lead his team in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks in the same season. The playoffs began. Houston defeated Portland, Phoenix, and Utah
to reach the NBA Finals against the New York Knicks. The series went 7 games, each contest defensive and physical. In Game 7 at Houston, Hakeem scored 25 points, grabbed 10 rebounds, and blocked 3 shots. Houston won 90-84. Hakeem won Finals MVP. He had completed perhaps the greatest individual season in basketball history. MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and Finals MVP, all in 1 year. No player before or since has matched that achievement.
The 1994-95 season brought doubts. Critics wondered if Houston's championship was a fluke. Michael Jordan had retired before the 94 season, returning midway through 95. Some suggested Hakeem only won because Jordan wasn't there. Houston responded by acquiring Clyde Drexler in a mid-season trade. The backcourt now featured one of Jordan's longtime rivals. In the playoffs, Houston fought through difficult series against Utah, Phoenix, and San Antonio. They reached the finals as a 6th seed, facing Shaquille O'Neal and the Orlando Magic. Orlando was younger, faster, and heavily favored. The series was expected to be competitive. Instead, Houston swept 4 games to 0. Hakeem dominated O'Neal on both ends, averaging 32.8 points, 11.5 rebounds, and 5.5 assists. He outplayed the game's most physically imposing center, using skill, footwork, and defensive brilliance. Back-to-back championships, Hakeem had silenced every critic. His career continued for 7 more seasons, piling up defensive statistics that will likely never be matched. Hakeem retired as the NBA's all-time leader in blocked shots with 3,830. He remains the only player with over 3,000 blocks and 2,000 steals. He made 9 all-defensive teams. He changed how people thought about center play, proving that big men could move, switch, and defend like wings while still protecting the rim. In 2008, Hakeem was inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame. His jersey number 34 hangs retired in Houston. Players still travel to his Houston area home for summer workouts, learning the dream shake, studying his footwork, trying to capture a fraction of his two-way dominance. Kobe Bryant worked with Hakeem. LeBron James sought his advice. Kevin Durant learned his moves. The dream's legacy lives on in every big man who learns to dance with the ball and defend with intelligence. Hamburg, Arkansas, population just over 3,000, doesn't produce many NBA players. In September 1965, Scottie Maurice Pippen was born into humble circumstances. He was the youngest of 12 children. His father, Preston, worked in a paper mill until a stroke left him confined to a wheelchair when Scottie was young. His mother, Ethel, worked multiple jobs to support the family. Money was tight. Opportunities seemed limited. Scottie grew up skinny and overlooked.
At Hamburg High School, he barely made the varsity basketball team. He stood 6 feet 1 inch as a senior, playing point guard, showing flashes of athleticism, but nothing suggesting future greatness. Major recruiters ignored him. Major programs never called. His high school didn't win many games. Scottie accepted that basketball would end after graduation. The University of Central Arkansas, a small NAIA school, offered him a position as equipment manager for the basketball team. Scottie accepted, planning to study and move on with life. But the coach, Don Dyer, noticed something during pickup games. Scottie had grown to 6 feet 5. He moved smoothly, saw the floor well, and competed with surprising intensity. Coach Dyer offered him a walk-on spot. Over the next 4 years at Central Arkansas, Scottie transformed. He grew to 6 feet 8. He developed his game, learning to defend, pass, and finish around the basket. By his senior year, he averaged 23.6 points and 10 rebounds per game. NBA scouts started showing up to watch this late bloomer from rural Arkansas. His size, length, and versatility intrigued them. The 1987 NBA draft arrived. The Seattle Supersonics selected Scottie 5th overall, then immediately traded him to the Chicago Bulls for the 8th pick. Chicago had a young shooting guard named Michael Jordan, who was carrying the entire offensive burden. The Bulls needed help, needed someone who could defend, pass, and take pressure off Jordan. Scottie seemed like a project, raw but promising. His first few seasons brought steady development. Scottie worked relentlessly on his game. He studied film constantly. He asked questions. He accepted that Jordan was the star and focused on doing everything else, defending the opponent's best player, grabbing rebounds, pushing the ball in transition, making the extra pass. Chicago improved incrementally, but couldn't break through in the playoffs, losing repeatedly to Detroit's physical Bad Boys teams. The 1990 to 1991 season marked a turning point. Chicago hired Phil Jackson as head coach in 1989. He installed the triangle offense, a system that required ball movement, basketball IQ, and unselfish play. Scottie thrived in it. He averaged 17.8 points, 7.3 rebounds, 6.2 assists, and 2.4 steals that season. More importantly, he became Chicago's defensive anchor. The 1991 NBA Finals matched Chicago against Magic Johnson and the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers had won 5 championships in the 1980s, masters of the Showtime era. Game 1 went to the Lakers. Game 2 was critical. Magic was dominating, using his size and passing to control the game. Phil Jackson made an adjustment. Scottie would guard Magic full time. The decision changed everything.
Scottie at 6 feet 8 with an incredible wingspan, matched Magic's height and exceeded his athleticism. He pressured Magic from baseline to baseline, denying easy passes, forcing him to difficult shots. Magic struggled. Chicago won Game 2, then won the series 4-1. Scottie had neutralized one of the greatest offensive players in history. Jordan won Finals MVP, but many observers credit Scottie's defense as the key to Chicago's first championship. The Bulls won again in 1992, defeating Portland. Scottie shut down Clyde Drexler, his good friend and fellow member of the draft class. Then came the 1993 finals against Phoenix. Charles Barkley had won MVP that season, leading Phoenix to the league's best record. Scottie was assigned to defend him. Barkley, stronger and more physical, struggled to create space. Scottie used his length and lateral quickness to stay in front of him, contesting every shot.
Chicago won their third straight championship. Michael Jordan retired in October 1993, walking away from basketball to pursue baseball. The Bulls needed Scottie to become the primary option. In the 1993-94 season, he averaged 22.0 points, 8.7 rebounds, 5.6 assists, and 2.9 steals per game. He finished third in MVP voting. He led the league in steals. He made All-NBA First Team and All-Defensive First Team. The Bulls won 55 games without Jordan, proving Scottie was far more than a sidekick. Jordan returned in March 1995. Chicago lost in the playoffs, but spent the offseason refocusing. The 1995-96 season brought unprecedented dominance. The Bulls won 72 games, a record that stood for 20 years. Scottie made All-NBA First Team and All-Defensive First Team again. In the finals against Seattle, Scottie defended Gary Payton, one of the league's best offensive guards. Payton struggled. Chicago won the championship. 2 more titles followed in 97 and 98. Scottie defended Karl Malone in the 97 finals, limiting the MVP winner. In the 98 finals against Utah again, Scottie battled through back pain and injuries, still competing on every possession. 6 championships in 8 years, 10 all-defensive team selections, 8 consecutive all-defensive first-team selections from 1992 to 1999. The defensive statistics tell the story more clearly. Scottie finished his career with over 2,300 steals and 900 blocks, one of only a handful of players to reach both milestones. He could guard point guards with his quickness, defend power forwards with his strength, and contest centers with his length and timing. Opposing coaches game-planned around avoiding Scottie. If he was on your best player, that player's efficiency dropped dramatically. In the 1996 Olympics, Scottie joined the second Dream Team. He was named the team's MVP, showcasing his all-around game on the international stage. He averaged 9.8 points, 5.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists, and 2.0 steals while defending the opponent's most dangerous perimeter threat. The team won gold easily. Scottie left Chicago after the '98 championship, playing for Houston, Portland, and eventually returning to Chicago for his final season in 2003 to 2004. He retired with career averages of 16.1 points, 6.4 rebounds, 5.2 assists, and 2.0 steals. Seven-time All-Star, one of the 50 greatest players in NBA history. His impact transcended statistics. Scottie showed that defense could be beautiful, that versatility mattered as much as specialization, that accepting a complementary role didn't diminish greatness. Every modern wing defender studies Scottie's footwork, his positioning, his communication. Coaches teach the Pippen principle. Your best defender guards their best player, no matter the position or matchup. The Hall of Fame inducted Scottie in 2010. His number 33 hangs in the United Center rafters alongside Jordan's 23. When people discuss the greatest dynasties, Chicago's 6 championships stand at the top. When they analyze why those teams succeeded, Scottie Pippen's defense remains the foundation. He never sought credit or complained about recognition. He just defended, year after year, possession after possession, proving that greatness comes in many forms. Oakland, California, in the late 1960s, was a city of change and challenge. On July 23, 1968, Gary Dwayne Payton was born into a working-class family. His father, Al, worked in a factory. His mother, Annie, kept the family together. Oakland's streets were tough, but basketball courts offered sanctuary. Young Gary spent countless hours at the Arroyo Viejo Recreation Center, playing against older kids, learning that talk and toughness mattered as much as skill. At Skyline High School, Gary dominated. He was quick, aggressive, and relentlessly competitive. More importantly, he became known for his defensive intensity. He pressed full court, talked constantly, and frustrated opponents into mistakes. His coach started calling him the Glove because he stuck to offensive players like leather on a hand. The nickname would follow him forever. Oregon State University wasn't a basketball powerhouse, but Gary committed there, staying close to the West Coast. For 4 years, he transformed the program. As a senior in 1989 to 90, he averaged 25.7 points, 8.1 assists, and 4.7 steals per game. He won the Pac-10 Defensive Player of the Year award. He became a consensus All-American. NBA scouts loved his competitive fire and defensive ability. The 1990 NBA draft featured a strong point guard class. The Seattle Supersonics held the 2nd overall pick and selected Gary, believing his defense could anchor a young team. Seattle had talented scorers in Shawn Kemp and Dale Ellis, but lacked a floor general who could control pace and shut down opposing point guards. Gary arrived ready to prove himself. His rookie season was rough. Gary struggled with the NBA's speed and physicality. Coaches criticized his shot selection. Veterans targeted him, testing his toughness. He responded the only way he knew,
by defending harder, talking more, and refusing to back down. By his second season, he had figured it out. His scoring improved, his defense became elite. The Supersonics started winning. In the 1993-94 season, Gary averaged 16.5 points, 6.0 assists, and 2.3 steals per game. He made his first All-Star team. More importantly, he made the All-Defensive First Team for the first time. Over the next 9 years, he wouldn't miss that honor once. 9 consecutive All-Defensive First Team selections, a streak matched only by Michael Jordan, Kevin Garnett, and Kobe Bryant.
The 1995-1996 season brought Gary's crowning individual achievement. He averaged 19.3 points, 7.5 assists, and 2.9 steals per game, leading the league in steals. His defensive rating of 104 was excellent. Seattle won 64 games, the franchise's best record ever. In March, Gary was named the NBA's Defensive Player of the Year, becoming the first point guard ever to win the award. The significance of that honor cannot be overstated. For 39 years, until Marcus Smart won in 2022, Gary remained the only point guard to receive the award. The position was considered too small to anchor a defense. Point guards were supposed to score and pass, not shut down entire offenses. Gary proved otherwise. He pressed full court for 48 minutes. He fought through screens. He denied entry passes. He turned steals into fast breaks. Seattle's defense ranked second in the league, built around Gary's relentless energy. The 1996 NBA Finals tested Gary against Michael Jordan and the 72-win Chicago Bulls. The first 3 games went poorly for Seattle, falling behind 3-0. Jordan was scoring easily, shooting jump shots over smaller defenders. Seattle coach George Karl made a desperate adjustment. Gary would guard Jordan full-time, even though Jordan was 5 inches taller and played shooting guard.
Game 4 changed. Gary pressured Jordan from the opening tip, denying him the ball, making every catch difficult. Jordan's shooting percentage dropped. He looked frustrated, complaining to officials about Gary's physical play and constant chatter. Seattle won Game 4 and Game 5, pulling within 3-2. Game 6 in Chicago was close throughout. Seattle fought hard, but Chicago's experience prevailed. The Bulls won 87-75, clinching their 4th championship. Despite losing, Gary gained respect. He had slowed down the greatest player on earth, proving that defense and toughness could compete with pure talent. Jordan later admitted that Gary bothered him more than any other defender during the finals. That admission meant everything to Gary. Over the next 6 seasons in Seattle, Gary continued his defensive dominance. He made the All-Star team every year. He piled up steals, finishing his career 5th all-time with 2,445. He set franchise records in assists and steals that still stand. At one point, he played 356 consecutive games, a testament to his durability and conditioning. The trash talk became legendary. Gary talked to everyone: opponents, referees, fans, teammates. He questioned their skills, their decisions their mothers. Some found it annoying. Others found it intimidating. Gary didn't care. The talk kept him engaged, kept opponents distracted, kept the energy high. He believed basketball was mental as much as physical, and if talking gave him an edge, he'd talk. In 2003, after 13 seasons in Seattle, Gary was traded to Milwaukee, then to Los Angeles. The Lakers' experiment failed. In 2004, he signed with Boston, but was traded again to Miami before the season started. Pat Riley and the Heat needed a veteran point guard to complement young star Dwayne Wade. Gary, now 37 years old, accepted a supporting role. The 2005 to 2006 season brought Gary's final chapter. Miami won 52 games and entered the playoffs as serious contenders. They reached the NBA Finals against Dallas, falling behind 2-0. The series felt over, but Miami adjusted. Wade took over offensively, and Gary provided veteran leadership and defense. Miami won 4 straight games, clinching the championship. Gary, in his 17th season, finally won his ring. He played 2 more seasons, retiring in 2008 after brief stints with Miami again and the Los Angeles Lakers. His career statistics: 16.3 points, 6.7 assists, and 3.9 rebounds per game. More impressively, 9 all-defensive first-team selections, 9 All-NBA selections, and 1 Defensive Player of the Year award. The Hall of Fame inducted him in 2013.
Gary's legacy extends beyond numbers. He redefined what point guard defense could be. Modern defensive-minded guards like Marcus Smart, Drew Holiday, and DeJounte Murray all study Gary's techniques. They watch film of him fighting through screens, denying passes, and pressuring ball handlers full court. They learned that size doesn't matter as much as effort and intelligence. The glove fit perfectly. Gary stuck to opponents, suffocating their rhythm, forcing mistakes, turning defense into offense. He proved that championships required defensive excellence at every position, not just at center or power forward. He showed that talking wasn't weakness, it was warfare, a psychological tool to gain advantage. Seattle retired his number 20 during the 2007 to 2008 season, the franchise's final year before moving to Oklahoma City. His jersey hangs in the rafters as a reminder of greatness, of intensity, of a player who refused to let anyone score easily. When fans remember the 1990 Supersonics, they remember Gary Payton talking, defending, competing every single possession like it was his last. 4 defenders, 4 different eras, each one proving that basketball's greatest art happens without the ball. Russell's intelligence, Hakeem's completeness, Scottie's versatility, Gary's relentlessness. They defended not for glory, but for winning, teaching us that true greatness often lives in the quiet moments, the unseen stops, the calm discipline that builds championships. Rest well, knowing that defense, in its purest form, is beautiful.